the Division III state championship basketball game between the Cloverdale Eagles and the Pasadena Poly Panthers. Pasadena Poly, the Southern California champions, of course the Cloverdale Ball Club, champions for a third consecutive year as the NorCal champions and defending state champions as well. These two teams are having their starting lineups announced at this time. For the Cloverdale Eagles, it's going to be Steve Stewart at one guard position. Greg McMillan at the other guard position. A huge Cloverdale following down here this afternoon. They love this ball club up in Cloverdale, and they have supported them very well. Kimball Pope, another senior on the ball club. Scott Lindis, Lauren McCarroll, David Morrison, John Santinello, and Matthew Mathiasen are the starting lineup for the Panthers. David Morrison, the starting center for Pasadena Poly, and at center it'll be Alvin Edens. Working this ball game with us this afternoon, the highly respected coach of the Pioneer Prospectors, Mike Gaddy. And Mike, we're really glad to have you with us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Doug. I really wished I could have come down last week to see McMillan score 46 points, but I'm certainly glad to see him to be here today and hope that they can win this state championship for the second time in a row.
This exclusive TV50 telecast of the California State Basketball Championship is made possible through the support of a number of organizations and individuals from the Cloverdale area, who we will be telling you about later in the program. We now join the state championship game 2.5 minutes into the first quarter, with the score all tied 5-5, Pasadena Poly in orange with the ball.
Down on the drive, no opening underneath. Pasadena forced to shoot it from outside. Matty Matheson, he has 3 points unofficially. Greg Bergman with the ball now. He's the only underclassman on the ball club for the starters for Cloverdale. He's a junior. He's going to be back next year. Looking for the opening, and they have been far and few between so far. A very tenacious defense by the Panthers. And now underneath to McMillan, who finds his number one guard, Kim Pope. And Pope comes up with his first bucket of the afternoon. It's a 7-7 ball game. 4:47 to go in the first period. That's McMillan on the steal, and he drives, feeds Bergman. Bergman can't find the opening. He has to bring it back out. So far, McMillan and Pope have got into the scoring column for the Eagles. They're 28-0 coming into this ball game. Shot put up by Bergman. And it is perfect. Bergman, perhaps the best outside shooter on this ball club. Lauren McCarroll drives, stops, puts the ball up, and hits the front rim. Bergman with the rebound. And now the Cloverdale Eagles are doing what they like to do best. They are running, trying to find the opening with McMillan feeding to Bergman. Moving the ball around. Bergman from outside again. He is now starting to find the range. He has 4 points. It's now Cloverdale 11-7, and we have a timeout. Called by the Pasadena Poly Panthers as they try to regroup. They took the early lead here, only to have Cloverdale come back and now lead it 11-7.
Doug, right now it looks like Pasadena is really concerned about McMillan on the inside. They're almost playing 4 people very close to the basket. They're not being too concerned about Stewart out front. They've got 1 man just about at the free throw line. They got 4 guys packed inside. They got a man behind McMillan, a guy dropping off in front of McMillan. But at the present time, Bergman's been able to come to the middle of the floor and shoot the jumper. Down at the other end, Pasadena's shot the ball 3 times, made all 3 of them. from what I have on the sheet, and they're 1 for 2. So their 7 points have come on from 100% shooting from the field at the present time.
Both clubs looked a little bit jittery when they came out here in the opening minute, but that soon was solved as they got this state championship ball game underway. And it's natural for these young men to be a little bit nervous as they get going here early, but all that sort of nervousness is a thing of the past now.
I think once that Cloverdale got matched up with their defensive assignments on the floor, I think they're going to be able to handle the people that they're guarding. 31 has played very well. They're trying to front 31, and they're getting the ball over the top against Bergman.
Matty Matheson with 2 points underneath. So it's a 2-point ball game, 11-9 now in favor of Cloverdale. Kim Pope feeding over to Stewart, who hits the front of the rim. Rebounded by Cloverdale, a fine rebounding ball club. McMillan on the drive, pull-up jumper, and he has 2 more points. McMillan on the afternoon, 7 points, and he averages about close to 25, but has really been on fire in the playoffs. He's averaging closer to 30 points during the playoffs. Shot put up by the Panthers, no good. Rebounded by Cloverdale, and Bergman once again driving coast to coast. A nice behind the back dribble. The ball on the floor, stolen, stripped away by the Panthers. 13-9 in favor of Cloverdale. 2:40 to go in the first period. A very action-packed first period between these two ball clubs. Cloverdale in its man-to-man defense, they seldom vary from that. A nice drive inside, the ball put up and missed by Mathiasen. Lauren McCarroll, though, follows with his first bucket of the afternoon. It's now a 2-point ball game, 13-11 in favor of Cloverdale. 2:09 to go, first period. A nip-and-tuck affair early on. McMillan with the ball, he drives and feeds perfectly to Bergman. He was wide open. Bergman 6 points. And that was a beautiful play. All the attention going to McMillan, and they sagged off him, and Bergman was wide open underneath. Probably be able to do that all afternoon because he draws a lot of attention from the opponent's defense.
Doug, the last time down the floor, they had McMillan in the high post. They had Bergman in the low post for the first time in the game. And they high post the ball to McMillan. They stepped up on him. He dumped the ball underneath to Bergman, showing his real unselfish play on the court for an easy layup.
Steve Stewart knocking the ball out of bounds. Pauley maintains control. They're having trouble doing anything but trying to get the ball underneath. They've been pretty successful there so far this afternoon. Lauren McCarroll with the ball, moving it away, and now the ball knocked away by Bergman. He's an excellent defensive ball player in his own right, besides being an awesome offensive star. He has scored over 1,000 points in his prep career, and he'll be back next year. Shot put up from outside. Alan Edens, I believe his first 2 of the afternoon. Now Cloverdale starting to stretch it out a bit. They have a 17-11 lead, 6-point lead, and now perhaps Pauley, they put up a shot from way outside. John Santinello booming it in from about 18 feet. It's now 17-13. Cloverdale taking the lead about midway through the first period, and they've been able to control that. Now on the drive is Bergman. He falls. No foul there. The ball does not go. And now the ball nearly stolen by Kimball Pope. But it'll be the Pasadena Ball Club maintaining control. John Santinello inbounding the ball to Matty Mathiasen, the top assist man, best defensive player. And now another shot from way outside. They've been subject to just putting it up outside because they can't crack the defense, evidently, of the Cloverdale Eagles. Meanwhile, Cloverdale has had pretty good success shooting from outside. Now we have a foul called.
Doug, I think that once that Stewart hits a couple of shots, Bergman's been able to hit the ball on the outside. Edens made an outside shot. The defense is going to get stretched out, and I think the ball is going to go inside to McMillan and Bergman, and they're going to score quite a few points before the ball gets started.
And that's the end of the first period of action. Cloverdale has been staked to a 4-point lead, 17-13. Their biggest lead, I believe, of the period was 6 points.
They had a 6-point lead right toward the end of the first quarter.
Anything surprising to you so far in the first period, Coach?
The only thing I've noticed so far, it seems like Cloverdale is dribbling the ball a little more than they have been when I saw them earlier in the season. It looks like they're trying to penetrate past the defensive player and then try to dump the ball off inside. The last 2 times down the floor, they've had a couple of problems dribbling the ball inside the post area. But it looks like Pasadena on the offensive board, the last 3 times down the floor they've shot the ball, they've quit going to the basket after the ball has been shot, and Cloverdale seems to have control of the defensive backboard at this time.
Cloverdale, of course, trying to win back-to-back state championships and cap a perfect season. They are 28-0 coming into this ballgame. Their head coach is John McMillan, the longtime coach at Cloverdale, has had very, very many winning teams in his 20 or so years, and he has been the head coach of the Eagles. He has had an amazing program, something to be very proud of, and this, of course, is a bonus to have an assembly of so many fine players at one time to be able to be a state caliber ball club like they are. Once again, it'll be McMillan jumping center against Morrison for Pasadena, and it's Cloverdale with Bergman putting it up right from the start of the second period.
Doug, my shooting stats are very unofficial, but in the first quarter, I've got Pasadena shooting 7 out of 8 from the floor, and that I think that's one of the reasons the game was close.
Bergman has 8 points unofficially, and now Cloverdale will be taking the ball out underneath the opponent's baseline. McMillan, as he usually does, bringing it up. He's an excellent ball handler, very smart man on the court. He moves underneath now, trying to get the ball inside, and he is fouled under there, I think, by Morrison, the center.
Pasadena right now is playing a 1-2-2 or a 3-2 zone defense. It's real flat. It's almost everything inside the free throw line. So if they shoot a few balls into the outside, it's going to be real difficult for Pasadena to stay in that type of defense very long in the game.
Bergman stops and he puts the ball up and is fouled. He did an excellent job drawing the foul there. Joe Ketter's second personal, 4th team foul, almost in the bonus situation for Cloverdale. Fouled in the act of shooting. Bergman will be shooting 2. He has 8 points unofficially. He misses the first one. McMillan and Bergman provide quite a 1-2 punch for the Cloverdale Ball Club. Together they average over 40 points a game. He's good on that second shot. Give him 9 points in the game now. It's a 20-13 lead. Pasadena has not scored so far until then in the second period. Santinello with his 4th point of the afternoon. It's now a 5-point lead for Cloverdale, 20-15. Putting it up from outside and missing. Kimball Pope rebounded by Pasadena Pauley and drawing the charge there. A beautiful display. Santinello, 15 foul, and we're approaching the bonus situation for the Eagles on that charge.
Kim Pope is a very good defensive player, Doug. Earlier, he almost picked the pass off. This time, the other opponent's guard was not ready to play. And he drew the foul, came right back and scored 2 points.
He shows his offensive abilities in that situation. He has 4 points now. It's a 22-15 lead. 7-point margin for Cloverdale. I believe their biggest lead of the ball game. We have 6:27 to go in the second period. The ball knocked away underneath. It'll go out to Pasadena. Actually, a foul called on Pope there. His second personal. Not in any problems in that regard at this point. 6:26 to go. 22 for Cloverdale. 15 for Pasadena. They've kind of stalled offensively. The shot put up by Joe Ketters rims the bucket and comes out. McMillan now on the attack. It seems the ball thrown away by Cloverdale. It seems that McMillan is drawing a lot of heavy traffic, and that's leaving a lot of the other Cloverdale Eagles open. And if they're able to shoot from the perimeter, well, this ball game could be lights out fairly early. 22-15, Cloverdale leading.
Doug, I think they're going to collapse against McMillan until they probably get 10 or 12 points down. They're going to have to stretch their defense out. And once the 10 or 12 points take place, then they got to come out and guard some other players. It's going to be difficult to keep a player like McMillan or Bergen from not scoring a lot of points inside.
The ball blocked by McMillan. He has a breakaway. Slam. That brings the crowd to its feet. 24-15. Unofficially, we have McMillan with 9 points now. He displayed there why he is such a fine player. The ball put up underneath, and good, fouled underneath. Matty Mathiasen. That basket will count. Kim Pope called for the foul, and that could be problems. His third personal foul now, and he's going to be coming out of the ball game. Matheson completes the three-point play. He has 8 points. Jay Robinson, a 5'10" senior, replacing Pope now, and that could be a big loss for Cloverdale. He's an excellent defender going to the bench.
That could have a great deal of effect on the way in which Cloverdale is going to play the game right now. This team is not guarding number 11. I doubt very much they'll guard Robinson until they find out whether they can score or not.
That's Bergman now. He has 11 points unofficially. He's leading the team in that regard. 26-18. Foul underneath. Jay Robinson just came into the ball game, gets whistled for that one.
Number 24, Jay Robinson. First personal 20 foul.
Going to the line for Pasadena Poly, Joe Ketters. He's got 2 shots coming. He makes the first. That's his first points of the game. 26-19 in favor of Cloverdale. He makes them both. 26-20, a 6-point lead now. 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go in this first half of basketball. Cloverdale took the lead midway through the first period, and they've held it ever since then. Way outside is McMillan. The ball rings away, no good. Rebounded by Joe Santinello. Pasadena Poly on the offensive now. They haven't had things going too well that way. They've only scored 7 points here in the second period. Way outside is Lauren McCarroll. The ball bounces away and off of Cloverdale.
Last 2 times down the floor, Pasadena's Cloverdale relies pretty much on Pope to help Stewart get the ball down the floor, and then he does become an offensive threat. Like I said, he is a good defensive player. I think that Pasadena right now has gone to pretty much a 2-3 zone, and they're packing back into the lane more and more. And the last time down the floor, McMillan took about I would say an 18-foot jumper and missed it. Probably because he's going to, over the course of the ball game, he's going to make about 70% of those shots when he takes them, but it seemed like he took an early shot.
It's Steve Stewart, Jay Robinson, Alan Edens, Craig Bergman, and Craig McMillan on the floor now for Cloverdale. John Santinello, let's pick out Pasadena Poly. Lauren McCarroll, Scott Lindis. And the ball is over and back and stolen by Edens. He drives, goes in, puts up the shot. It's no good. But he is fouled by Lauren McCarroll. Alan Edens will get 2 shots. He has 2 points so far this afternoon. The first one is perfect. Edens doesn't get a chance to put the ball up very much. He only has a 4.3 per game average. Second one, no good. Rebounded by Polly.
That was just Eden's second shot in this ball game, Doug, and there's a quarter and a half of play gone by.
27-20, a 7-point lead, winding down now towards the half. 3:55 to go. Cloverdale playing a pretty tight defensive game, man-to-man is their trademark. And so far, Polly having trouble getting anything really going. 27-20, Cloverdale leading. Inside, Santinello closed off to Morrison. He is going to be called for a jump ball underneath as he got tied up, I believe, with Bergman.
Pasadena is a passing game team or a motion game team. Generally, you see whoever passes the ball will screen away from the ball, not go toward it. They're trying to open someone up on the weak side or away from the basketball.
Pasadena gets the ball on the jump, and Santinello responds by putting up about a 19-footer. They're closing the gap now. They trail 27-22, a 5-point lead for Cloverdale. Cloverdale has gone stone cold here in the past couple of minutes. McMillan, he hasn't been able to buy one for the last couple of minutes. He's gone cold shooting outside, and they'll let him do that all afternoon. They'd rather have him shoot out there than drive the lane. 27-22, 2:51 to go. Shot is put up and misses everything. It's rebounded by Pasadena Poly. They got the offensive board again. Fighting underneath. Finally, Bergman comes down with the ball. It's stolen away by Morrison, but he commits the foul. Bergman will be going to the line, shooting 1+1.
Personal foul on 31, David Morrison. His second personal.
It's a 1+1 situation, I believe, because it's the bonus. 5 team fouls for Pasadena.
Returning to the Poly lineup, number 20, Lauren McCarroll.
Lauren McCarroll replacing David Morrison in the lineup. Bergman has 11 points thus far. He misses the shot. It's rebounded by Pasadena. So all of a sudden, Cloverdale has not been able to buy any kind of a bucket from outside or from the foul line. But they still lead 5 points, 27-22. That's McCarroll, puts it up. There's a foul underneath. Let's see who they call it on.
Personal foul number 33, Nick Bergman. His first personal, 15 foul.
Bergman called for the foul.
Shooting 2.
McCarroll unofficially with 2 points this afternoon. He'll be shooting 2. He misses terribly. Doesn't even draw iron on that one. It's still a 5-point lead, 2:21 to go in the first half. Cloverdale leading. Second shot miserably missing again. I don't know what it is. Neither team able to do much offensively at this point. Bergman underneath. McMillan loses the ball. There's a scrap underneath the bucket. And we have a jump ball between McCarroll for Pasadena Poly and Craig McMillan. McMillan has about 3.5 inches on McCarroll, so he wins the jump, but and Cloverdale gets the ball, feeds it into Bergman. Bergman now 13 points, and I think that's one of the wise things to do, try to get some harmony going between McMillan and Bergman. They've been able to work that play pretty well underneath. Now Pasadena scores 2. Matty Matheson, the bucket counts.
Doug, they're putting all kinds of pressure on McMillan if he touches the ball in the post. And once he gets squared up the basket, if he drops the ball on the floor, it just seems to be a player diving down in there. And I don't know if every time he's getting a clean swipe at the ball or if he's knocking the ball away from his hands. But they're making it very difficult. Bergman's doing an excellent job. And McMillan's got about 4 or 5 real nice assists in his first half where he's drawn 2 players to him, dumped the ball back to Bergman or out to Pope, and he's giving them fine passes for baskets.
Shot no good, put up by Matheson. Bergman at the other end puts it up, and he has refound the touch. Cloverdale now leading 31-24. Less than a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Besides Bergman, Cloverdale has been pretty quiet here in the second period, but they enjoy a 7-point lead at this point. 31-24. Joe Kitters finds a long-range bomb to draw it closer. 31-26, about a minute to go in the first half. Bergman on the dribble drive. Every time McMillan gets the ball, he is hounded by 2 and 3 Pauley defenders. The shot put up and missed by Stewart. 45 seconds to go in the first half. 31-26, Cloverdale with the lead. Shot is does not draw iron by Mathiasen, but Pauley gets the ball right back. They might work it for the last shot, but no. Putting it up from way outside was Santinello. And now Cloverdale, 25 seconds to go, winding down in the first half. Bergman with the ball. They might work it down for the last shot. McMillan looking for an opening. He stopped short, and the ball knocked away. A nice defensive play by Matheson. 10 seconds to go. Cloverdale with the ball underneath their own basket. Alan Edens throwing it in. McMillan puts it up from the jump line. It bounces around, no good. 4 seconds. A long shot put up by Pasadena Pauley, and that's the end of the first half. So we have one half of action completed here at the Oakland Coliseum Arena. 31-26, Cloverdale clinging to a 5-point lead. They led after the end of the first period, 17-13, and have maintained the lead throughout the second period. Stay tuned for our halftime show after this station identification. We're at halftime of the Division III state championship game between Cloverdale and the Pasadena Pauley Panthers, with the Eagles leading at the half, 31-26. Our halftime guest, Bruce Pearl, the associate coach of the Stanford basketball program. He's down here scouting some of these young prep stars, particularly Craig McMillan, because Stanford is hopeful of getting McMillan to come over to Stanford.
Greg, Doug, we're very excited about Craig being at Stanford, the possibility of him coming down and play for us. He had one thing on his mind the whole season long, and that was bring a state championship back up to Cloverdale, and he's done that, and I'm sure a lot of pressure is off of him, and the whole team performed very well. They're 16 minutes away from winning a state championship right now, so I hope that they get it.
What did you see in the first half that, I'm sure you've seen McMillan before, what did you see of him that you maybe didn't know before, or something that he's done all along that you guys are really looking for?
Well, Doug, we've seen him so many times this season. It's gotten beyond the point of coming to evaluate him. We're just here to express our interest, and honest to God, after watching him so much and getting to know the people of Cloverdale, you start rooting for him, and I've met a lot of friends here. He's without a doubt the finest point guard in the country. And that my head coach, Tom Davis, has said that right from the very first time he saw him. He said, Bruce, you're just not going to find much better than a point guard. And I think that makes him so special about a point guard. As you see him in that first half, he's a coach out there. He's an extension of his dad out on the floor. He knows the game very well. And that, he doesn't make a lot of bad passes. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a thinking player. He knows how to win. And whenever you take that kind of a player and put him in with a group of other kids, he's going to make them play better, and he's going to get you a winning program.
Would you see Craig having a fairly easy transition into a Stanford situation?
So Tom Davis basketball is fast break and pressure defense, and that's what John McMillan has taught these kids how to do. And so as far as style of play, it fits Craig perfectly. We're going to win at Stanford, okay? We've done a good job in the last couple of years, not a great job, and I think the thing could get better. With Craig McMillan, we're going to get there a lot quicker, and we're going to be an NCAA Final Four kind of a team. Without him, we're still going to win, but it's just how high we can get.
Realistically, how do you think you stand in the McMillan sweepstakes?
I think we're in good position as far as Craig is concerned. He knows that it's the finest school in the country, and he's very interested in the education. He knows that Tom Davis is one of the best coaches in the country, and he knows that our program is improving. But all he's concerned about is 16 minutes from now and bringing a state championship flag up to Cloverdale, and I respect him for that. You know, he's had a lot of coaches all over the country be recruited him, and this is what he's got his mind on. And so I don't think he knows right now where he wants to go. As soon as he wins this thing, then they'll decide.
Bruce Pearl, associate coach from Stanford, talking about Craig McMillan, the fine young Cloverdale Eagle. And we thank you very much for joining us.
I appreciate
it. And best of luck in your recruiting pursuit of McMillan and any other boy you're trying to get. We have another exciting half of basketball to send your way. At the half, it's 31-26 in favor of Cloverdale. They are 16 minutes away from a repeat state championship, and we have some unofficial statistics to go over here now that our play-by-play man, Coach Mike Gaddy, has been very quickly computing. And what are some of the things that you have been able to assess from that first half?
Doug, right now, one of the big things is Pope has 3 fouls for Cloverdale, and it seemed like they did drop off a little bit when Robinson had to come in and replace him. Not defensively, he's been doing a good job for them defensively, but it seems like they've dropped off offensively a little bit since Kim has had to sit down. These are really unofficial, but I've got Pasadena shooting 61% from the floor in the first half, and if they continue at that rate, it's going to be difficult for Cloverdale to increase their margin on the scoreboard. And I think with Pope coming back, that may make a difference. But at the other end, I've got Cloverdale just shooting 42%, 10 out of 24, and at the current time, McMillan is sitting at 50% as a shooter, and in most cases, you'd think that's great shooting. Craig is going to come on in the second half and put the ball in better than that, I believe. Bergman is doing an outstanding job. I got him 7 for 9 from the floor as a shooter. So
who's the leading scorer do you have for Pasadena?
At Pasadena right now, it's got to be Matheson, the small number 10, the guard. I got him for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points at halftime.
Okay, we've started the second half of action now. Cloverdale missing an early shot, and now Pasadena probably fumbling the ball out of bounds. 31-26, Cloverdale holding on to a 5-point lead as we get underway here in the second half. Bergman with 15, the leading scorer thus far in the ballgame. Is Pope back on the court? Yes, he is. Pope with 3 fouls has started the second half, so he'll be playing a little bit deliberately out there. McMillan with a shot. It rings off the front. He's gone a little cold ever since midway through the second period. We're about a minute into the second half and no score as yet. You see any changes as far as offensively for Pasadena that they might have made some adjustments in the second half?
Not right now, Doug. They're still playing the passing game. I think Cloverdale is picking up their defense a little farther out on the court this half, and I think once they get accustomed to the other team, then they're going to start moving their defense up the court a little bit. But Pasadena's still running the passing game, and of course, Cloverdale's trying to attack this. Right now, they're in a 1-2-2 zone, and they sometimes switch to a 2-3, but they're trying to get McMillan down inside. They got Bergman on the wing, and they got Edens on the other side. So they're trying to put some pressure on the outside with their outside shooters. They're trying to get the ball inside to Craig. and inside to Craig Bergman.
And the ball is stripped away by Pasadena Poly, and we have a foul underneath the basket. It's going to go against Stewart. Is it against Stewart? Yeah, I was afraid it might be against Pope.
Stewart, his second personal foul, first team foul.
So Pasadena will be inbounding the ball, and that's McCarroll getting it in and working the ball around. 31-26, no score here so far in the second half until right there. Morrison with the bucket. Unofficially, we have him with 6 points. 31-28 now as Cloverdale being tested here. They haven't been able to buy a bucket until then. Pope with 6 points in the ball game. 33-28 ball game now in favor of Cloverdale. They have led since early in the first period. Their biggest lead was about 7-8 points. They're holding on now to about a 5-point advantage. Inside, the ball knocked away, and it is going to go to Pasadena. Santinello will be inbounding the ball for the Panthers as they try to upset this Cloverdale ball club. McCarroll has the ball stripped away. That's Kimball Pope driving for bucket, and a beautiful layup there. He showed a lot of agility on that move.
That was an excellent play by Pope, Doug.
You can see right from the start of this second half how important he is to this ball club. We have a foul called underneath, I believe, on, is it Bergman?
I believe so.
Personal foul number 33, Craig Bergman. Second personal, second team foul.
Second personal on Bergman. No real trouble there yet, but he'll have to be careful if he gets another one very soon. 35-28, Cloverdale the lead. They're closing in on perhaps a second state Division III championship here this afternoon. Shot from way outside.
21-footer.
Santinello, a 21-footer. We have him unofficially 8 points this afternoon. It's a 5-point ball game. Cloverdale 35, Pasadena 30. 4:53 to go in the third period. 8-minute periods, they go by very, very quickly. Another shot put up way outside. It is not going to drop. The rebound was by McMillan. He tried to put it up, and it looked like he might have gotten fouled there, but none was to be called. Pasadena will get the ball. Unofficially, we have McMillan with 9 points. He's been pretty quiet since the first period. Underneath now to Morrison. He's fighting underneath. Foul called on Bergman, I believe. That's number 3 on him, so he'll have to be pretty careful now. Cloverdale calling the timeout to regroup. Still a very close ball game, 35-30. It's anybody's contest right now. What do you think they might be discussing in their huddle there, Coach?
It's hard telling. John may come out and possibly go to his own defense. He's got a 5-point lead. Pope has got 3 fouls. Bergman's got 3 fouls. He's got to keep those players in the ball game. It's not even halfway through the third quarter yet. The other thing is they may take some time. They may pass the ball a little more and see if they can get this other team to play a little bit. The other team has not been forced to come out and play man-to-man yet, so John may do 2 things. He may not do either one, but he may back the ball up and make them play some man-to-man defense, and he may find himself going to his own defense just to protect a couple of his players that have 3 fouls early in the third quarter.
35-30 is the score at Cloverdale. They have not been able to really put it into full gear, but they're holding on to the lead. A very loud crowd here, and many people from the Cloverdale area journeying down here, and you got to give them a lot of credit for giving this team full support. Morrison shooting 2. The ball goes around and out. We have him unofficially with 6 points this afternoon. He is their only non-senior starter. He's a sophomore, so he's going to have a couple more years, 2-3 more years of varsity ball. Next shot is good. It's now a 4-point lead. McMillan has not been able to get on track here in the second half. You see the defense really causing him a lot of problems. The ball bouncing around, Cloverdale holding on.
That was an outstanding effort by McMillan to keep that ball alive underneath the basket. Looks like they're in the defensive board. He knocked it free, and Cloverdale retained possession.
What's the defense seem to be doing to McMillan to keep him so quiet?
They're trying to keep a guy in front and a guy behind, and when Craig is out at the wing, they're just playing it straight man-to-man.
Oh, the shot just about goes, but
Number 20.
it's not going to drop. Lauren McCarroll on the foul. It'll be McMillan going to the line, shooting 2. What do you think of the officiating in this ball game? A lot of controversy up in the Empire about officiating in the playoffs lately. It's a tough job.
It's a real difficult position to put anybody in. I would not care to be an official myself, but I think the consistency is important. I think this has been consistently a very well-called ball game.
McMillan makes both, and we have him with 11 points. His first 2 of the second half. We're winding it down now. 3:50 to go in this third period. It's back to a 37-31
Cloverdale
lead.
is playing his own right now, Doug.
The ball knocked away by McMillan. There's a scramble going on. And we're going to get a jump ball. That basket will not count. A jump ball. It looks like McCarroll for the Panthers against Steve Stewart. The guard, the fine guard for the Cloverdale Eagles. The tap controlled by Pasadena, and they put up a shot right off the bat. Not looking around to get anything maybe better than that. McMillan drives the length of the court. The ball knocked away. He was trying to get it to Berkman, but I believe it was knocked out of bounds by Joe Ketters. Ketters is an amazing young athlete. He was injured for the entire season, a football injury. He just came back during the playoffs and has done very well. McMillan driving, and he is fouled. He'll go to the foul line again. He'll shoot 2. McMillan is the leading charity shooter for the Cloverdale Eagles. And we're going to have a timeout call here with 3:24 to go.
3 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the period. Cloverdale 37,
Cloverdale leading it by 6 points. A rather low-scoring ball game. I don't think that is to be unexpected in a championship game like this, especially with a couple of pretty good defensive ball clubs down on the court of this Oakland Coliseum. 37-31, Cloverdale has the lead. They average about 68 points a game, so they're well down from that kind of a scoring pace. Shot is good by McMillan. Pasadena Poly averages about 67 points, so a couple of high-scoring ball teams here, but neither one has been able to get really untracked offensively, and as we explained, that's pretty much to be expected in a championship contest like this. Cloverdale extends its lead now to 7 points. That's about as big as it has been. 3:24 left to go in this third period.
Cloverdale has dropped back into their 3-2 or 1-2-2 zone defense with McMillan at the point. And what he will do is when the ball goes to the corners, he's probably going to end up fronting the post. There he goes inside. Just picked up a foul. So he'll go all the way from the top of the circle all the way down to the block on either side of the lane and try to front the low postman on the ball side when the ball is in the corner.
Why did they move out of their man-to-man defensive alignment?
I think primarily just to take care of Cope, who has 3 fouls, and Bergman, who has 3 fouls. I think they put them in a position where they don't have to play hard against the man in possession of the ball.
Pasadena Poly is getting some offense finally. Lauren McCarroll with 2. Unofficially, we have him with just 4 points. 39-33 ball game now in favor of the Eagles. 2:40 to go.
Coach McMillan has decided he's going to take some time off the clock, Doug. He's gone to his 3-out guard offense.
There's no way you can couldn't stop that. They collapse on McMillan. They draw closer to McMillan, and Bergman is wide open every time. He has 17 in the ball game. And now Bergman steals the ball. 3-on-2 fast break. Some fancy dribbling by McMillan. Pull-up jumper. He can't find the net on that one. Pauly running to the other end. We've got a track meet going now. And Matheson slows things up as Pauly tries to set up their offense. Ketter's now with the ball. He's looking for McCarroll. McCarroll moving into the baseline. To Santinello. Santinello buries it from about 18 feet. We have him with 10 points. It's now 41-35. Cloverdale maintaining its lead.
Cloverdale's going to make them come out and play some man-to-man defense, Doug. And when that happens, they're going to spread the court out. McMillan is going to penetrate with the basketball, and Bergman's going to get a lot of baskets underneath when Craig dishes it off to him. They're going to have to come out and play him right now. They're not playing man-to-man yet. They're just extending their zone out, but now it's 3-on-2 again.
And here we go with Bergman again. That looks like an instant replay from the previous bucket, but they can pick that play off all afternoon long. And now Bergman with the steal again. And the crowd livens up now. They sense that Cloverdale is really taking charge here. 43-35 the score. Cloverdale losing the ball underneath. McMillan calling for a foul, but does not get his way. Pasadena Pauly is going to have to get something going here. 51 seconds to go in the third period. And from way outside, Santinello buries one again. He's keeping them in this ballgame at this point.
Personal foul, number 20. Craig McMillan, second personal, 15 foul.
15 foul called on the Cloverdale Eagles. It's a 43-37 ball game now.
1-on-1.
That foul was away from the play, underneath where the action was getting hot and heavy for the rebound. It'll be Morrison shooting 1+1. If he makes the first one, he gets the next. He makes the first one. It's now 43-38. Things getting interesting. 5-point lead.
Could be a big 4-point play right here.
The ball hits the front of the rim. Cloverdale comes down to the rebound. They're going to slow things up, perhaps go for the final shot here in the third period. We have about 38 seconds to go. They lead it 43-38. They're trying to coax Pasadena to come out and play the ball. That would enable McMillan to have some room underneath and penetrate and dish off if he so desires. McMillan from outside. He finally finds that scoring touch that has eluded him up to this point. That's just his first bucket of the second half. He has a couple of free throws. Shot from way outside. Joe Ketters has buried it. A long shot off the backboard as time expires. 45-40. After 3 periods, Cloverdale hanging on to that 5-point lead that they had at the half. Things not changing too awfully much in that third period. Cloverdale now just 8 minutes away from a championship.
Doug, it's unbelievable. This Pasadena has come out in the third quarter, and they've hit 6 out of 8 shots from the floor. Cloverdale is 5 for 9, and Craig finally knocked one in there in the last minute of the third quarter. He's 1 for 4 from the field in this quarter.
McMillan has 15 unofficially. On the other side of the ledger, I believe it's Santinello now with 12 points, leading the Pasadena Pauly effort. Those figures are all unofficial. So here we go, 8 minutes of basketball remaining in this Division III state championship ball game. Pasadena Poly trying to upset the defending champion Cloverdale Eagles. David Morrison jumping against McMillan, and Pasadena gets the tip. Pasadena Poly has been able to hit from outside pretty well, but they have not been able to gain too much on Cloverdale's lead. It seems every time that Pasadena scores, Cloverdale's able to answer right back. Underneath to McCarroll, he puts it up, no good. The ball bouncing around Cloverdale. Bergman comes down with the rebound. I won't be surprised to see Cloverdale more or less do what we have seen them do at the end of the third period. That is to open it up, try to open things up underneath so they can have McMillan try to penetrate and go all the way if possible. If not, dish off to one of the wings.
Cloverdale is still in their three-guard or their four-corner offense. Pasadena has not come out and played man-to-man yet. They're still playing their 2-1-2 zone. They've extended it out, and they're going to try and have to either trap the ball or they're going to have to match up man-to-man and let Cloverdale get into their man offense, and then it's going to be a spread of 5 and greater throughout the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's a very crucial turnover there. The ball thrown away by Cloverdale. Pasadena now with a chance to draw to within 3 points, and they have to start doing something offensively right away because time is running out. 6.5 minutes about to go in this ball game. Cloverdale is leading at 45-40, a 5-point advantage.
Cloverdale is still playing their zone defense that they started out with midway through the fourth quarter, and McMillan is playing in the middle of the post, and he's got Bergman and Edens playing on the wings in the 2-3 zone.
Shot put up outside, and suddenly Pasadena has gone cold in that regard. The basket is made, but does not count.
Offensive foul.
We have a charging foul called on Matty Matheson, and that's an important foul there because he had made the bucket. Had that gone against Cloverdale, they had a chance to climb to within just 2. So a crucial call right there. 6:08 to go, 45-40. Neither team has scored in this fourth period. Cloverdale looking to open things up. Pasadena not so anxious to go out and cover a man-to-man, and they're going to have to start doing something. Time is dwindling away. Less than 6 minutes to go now. 45-40. Cloverdale not in command, but with time running down, the clock is in their favor. They have the advantage of being able to look for the high percentage shot.
Cloverdale is trying to keep the ball on the side of the floor with McMillan, Pope, and Bergman, and Pasadena is trying to keep the ball out of there. They're trying to get it in the possession so that they can play against Stewart and Edens on the other side.
As you can see, Pasadena Poly trying in vain to get something going defensively, but has been unable to do so far. Less than 5 minutes to go now. Neither team has scored in this fourth period. McMillan, an excellent ball handler. Many consider him the premier guard, high school guard in the country. Highly recruited. Almost stolen by McCarroll, but he can't quite come up with it. And Cloverdale will be just glad to kind of do what they're doing right now. They're getting time off the clock. The ball knocked away, but McMillan comes up with it, and now Pasadena Poly comes up with the loose ball. They go in, and the ball is away. Kimball Pope, an excellent defensive play there. And now Cloverdale calls a timeout to regroup. It's a 45-40 game, the same score it was after 3 periods, with Cloverdale still leading it by 5. Cloverdale going over its strategy now. They can't really afford to let Pasadena come up with any quick buckets at this point because they have been unable to put up any points themselves. They might have to get a little aggressive down there and go for a couple of baskets and maybe hope to be fouled.
I wouldn't be surprised if possibly Coach McMillan came out and maybe put the ball in the hands of Kim Pope and maybe put Craig in the high post, get him the ball, and let him attack the basket from there. But at 45-40, they're in good shape. They blocked the shot, knocked it out of bounds. Pasadena still has to put the ball in play, get a good shot, hope they can make it. One thing, Pasadena has been getting some offensive rebounds since Cloverdale has gone to the 2-3 zone. They've had more than one shot several times, and that has some effect on the play of Pasadena. They've had a few more shots in the fourth quarter than they had in the first three on the offensive backboard.
Cloverdale isn't used to these close ball games. Their average margin of victory has been about 26 points this year, so this is kind of unusual for them. It could be a drawback to come down to a nail biter, but they're a veteran ball club. They've been to state. They've been to all kinds of tournaments. You can't expect any kind of a breakdown at this point. Pasadena now, they have to start scoring. They try to go underneath, and Bergman, that's his fourth.
Two-shot foul.
It's going to be a two-shot foul, and that's could be a very crucial call right there. Santinello going to the line. He'll be shooting two. These are pressure baskets right here. Very calmly stepping to the free throw line. John Santinello makes the first. He's got one more coming. And he makes the second. A three-point ball game. 3:50 to go. Cloverdale's going to have to open it up a little bit now. Here comes McMillan. He's looking for the opening. Bergman with the 4 fouls. He has to be careful. Time ticking away, about 3.5 minutes left in this contest, and we have a barn burner. It's going to go right down to the wire. A 3-point lead for Cloverdale. They have not scored here in the fourth period. 2 points have been scored, that's all. Both on free throws by Pasadena. Cloverdale still trying to open it up underneath.
Pasadena's working hard, Doug, to try and keep the ball out of McMillan's hands.
Knocked away momentarily by
Now they're in
Carroll.
shape, 3-on-2.
There goes McMillan, and he stuffs it. A big bucket for Cloverdale. 47-42. McMillan, 17 points now, and that was a big, big basket. You give that guy any kind of an opening, and he'll find it. Bergman knocks it away. He's had an outstanding defensive ball game. He's stolen several passes, knocking that one away there. Bergman with 19 unofficially is the leading scorer in this ball game. He has the 4 fouls. He has to be careful. About 2.5 minutes to go in this ball game. Outside again. Santinello now with 15. And we're going to get some full court pressure now by Pasadena Poly. McMillan comes up relatively easily. Now he's going to go to the bucket again. He puts it up. He's fouled. The shot does not go. Morrison will be called for the foul. McMillan will be shooting 2 pressure free throws, and the man you want on the line is there right now. He makes the first very calmly, and he'll get his second shot now. But first, Pasadena will be calling a timeout. We have 2:17 remaining in this ball game. Cloverdale leading 48-44.
Doug, after Bergman got his 4th foul, even though Cloverdale stayed in their 3-guard offense or their 4 corners, like a lot of schools call it, McMillan has just done an outstanding job offensively. They've tried to keep the ball away from him in their zone trap defense, but he's gotten the ball back. The last 2 times he's had it in the middle, he got a dunk, and then he got fouled, and it looks like he's in a position now to cash another free throw.
You can see that he more or less is taking command now when the going is really getting tough.
Craig is shooting 100% from the foul line right now.
Should Cloverdale get the bucket here, the free throw, they'll have a 5-point lead with 2 minutes, 17 seconds to go.
I don't think St. Malo has missed an outside shot for Pasadena in the ballgame.
We have him unofficially with, let's see, 17. He has really been the backbone for the Poly attack here this afternoon.
I think he's 100% from that left wing where he's been shooting the ball from against the Cloverdale defense.
They're a fine out-shooting ball club, Pasadena is. A little bit of breathing room now for Cloverdale. 49-44. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go in this contest. It's been a hard-fought, knock-down, drag-out struggle all the way. Pasadena is going to have to put some points up, and very quickly. They're running out of time. Less than 2 minutes. Underneath, the ball goes to Morrison. He can't find the opening. The shot knocked out of bounds off of a Poly defender. It'll be Cloverdale's ball. It'll be full court pressure now. Bringing up the ball is Steve Stewart. He's a fine ball handler. And we have, crucial turnover there.
Cloverdale was unable to get the ball in the hands of McMillan in the backcourt, and you have to credit Pasadena's defense. They did a good job denying him, trying to get that ball in play.
Pasadena has been relying on that outside shot, and if they can bury a couple more, they can make this very interesting. Just about a minute and a half to go. 49-44, a 5-point lead. Underneath now to McCarroll. He was wide open there. Unofficially, his 6th point of the afternoon. And now it is nervous time. A minute 16 to go. 49-46.
They got to foul 11 if he ever gets possession of the ball. I think they're going to try and keep it in the hands of McMillan, Pope, and Bergman. Edens is also a good free throw shooter.
Here goes McMillan. We've got less than a minute to go.
They got to go foul him. They got to go foul him. They got to go foul him.
They're going to have to foul very quickly. They want to make sure.
They got to go foul him.
We have a foul there. It'll be Edens on the line. I believe a 1+1 situation. We have 48 seconds to go here. It's a 49-46 advantage for Cloverdale. Some very important shots. Edens 1+1. He makes the first one. Edens, a 55% free throw shooter on the year, and he was happy to see that one drop. 50-46. Here comes the next one. It's perfect. A couple of pressure-packed free throws there, and it's back to a 5-point lead. Things looking good now for Cloverdale. There's Santinello again with another bucket from that corner baseline shot that he has enjoyed all afternoon. Full court pressure over the timeline. Cloverdale and a foul call now. McMillan will be going to the line. Joe Ketter's trying to knock the ball free, but he fouls out of the game. That's number 5 on him.
It's amazing, Doug, that Pasadena didn't take a timeout after that made field goal. They would have had a chance to set their press and possibly get the ball in the backcourt.
We have a timeout now to regroup. 25 seconds to go. Cloverdale trying for a second straight state championship. They lead it 51-48. McMillan, unofficially with 19 points this afternoon. He would like to get 20 and 21 right here. Bouncing around and in. We have McMillan perfect from the free throw line, 7 for 7. He really comes through when you need it. 52-48. Here comes the next one. Perfect. 53-48. And now it's scramble time. Pasadena's going to have to put it up and put it up quickly. Mathiasen missing. The rebound goes to Morrison. And he is able to get it to crawl over the rim.
Still haven't taken a timeout after made field goal.
They were forced to foul now with 8 seconds to go. It's 53-50. Going to the line, it'll be Steve Stewart for the Cloverdale Eagles. He's a 54% free throw shooter. 8 seconds to go. Cloverdale can ice it should they make one or both. 53-50. The first shot is no good. 7, 6, 5. Here comes Pasadena Poly. The shot is up, around. There's the buzzer. The shot is good, but it's not going to be enough. Cloverdale holds on to win it. 53-52. They are the state champions for Division III for a second consecutive year. Let's go down to the floor now, and Art Edwards.
It is surprisingly quiet here in the Cloverdale locker room. You may have thought that after winning their second straight state championship that they would be very excited. But it may have been a combination of things. One, the tough game they had today, and then two, just simply the long season. But there's no doubt that both the players and the coach were very excited right at the end of the ball game.
It's the greatest feeling in the world. Just playing in the Open Coliseum is great. It was a tough one. I'm glad we came out on top. I thought we could do it, but I didn't think it was going to be this close.
Yeah, we were kind of excited. We did practice really hard all week. We've really been working. You know, it's an excitement playing in the Coliseum and everything.
No, we hadn't seen him. We had a scouting report on it. We hadn't seen him. We knew they played a slow-tempo basketball game, and we've had trouble with those teams that slow down before, and that's exactly what happened today.
Well, Doug, that's it from the locker room. Back to you.
That, in a nutshell, really explains the action. It came right down to the final seconds. Pasadena Poly scored the last 4 points of the ball game in the last 14 seconds, but in the end, it was the Cloverdale Eagles holding on to win it and claim their second straight state championship, 53-52. From the Open Coliseum, this has been Doug Silveri along with Pioneer coach Mike Gaddy. Thank you very much for joining us. And now we want to send it down to Art Edwards with the victory celebration with the Division III champion, state champion, Cloverdale Eagles.
After Saturday afternoon's game, the team went to a restaurant in Oakland to have a nice quiet dinner. After the dinner, they planned to go back to the Coliseum and watch some of the games taking place later in the evening. But before dinner was over, some of the fans that came all the way from Cloverdale to watch the game took a moment to salute the players and their coach. Reporting from Oakland for TV 50 Sports, I'm Art Edwards.
This exclusive TV50 telecast of the California State Basketball Championship was made possible through the support of the following organizations and individuals from the Cloverdale area: Jack Dominichelli and family, Union Geothermal, Wild Wings Galleries and Frame Shop, Wayne and Lorraine Humphrey, Southard Service and Tire Center, Cloverdale Citrus Fair, Dilly Insurance, Italian Swiss Colony, Zola's, Jet Trucking, Sun Lumber, Grapevine Restaurant and Bar, Louisiana Pacific Corporation, Smith & Brazil Incorporated, Cloverdale Eagles Booster Club, Century Lions Club, Shop and Save, Redwood Smorget, Occidental Geothermal Incorporated, Barnes Lumber Company, Trio Wood Products, G&R Lumber, Cloverdale Police Association, Cloverdale Disposal, Bank of America in Cloverdale, Pacific Bell, MGM Brakes, Pellegrini Chevron Service, Cheyenne Ace Hardware, and West America Bank in Cloverdale and in 44 other Northern California locations.
All right, baby.